Hello, how are you? This is Michael Randall. I'm the Executive Director of Grandmont Rosedale Development Corporation, and I'm really excited to talk about this opportunity. I had an opportunity to meet with one of our residents, and I think that she can say it much better than anyone at Grandmont Rosedale Development Corp could ever say it in terms of the need for our community when it comes to home repair for our seniors. Neighborhood.
Well, I've been living in the neighborhood in this very home since 1978.
Wow.
At the time, we had three young girls. One was in the second grade. The middle girl was getting ready to go to kindergarten. And then the baby, well, she must have been about 2 or 3 years old. We had looked at about 7 homes. This was in 1978, and it was really the buyer's market, okay? And we had looked at about 7 homes just on this street. And at the time, of course, the family who sold us the home was living in the home. So when we were able to come into the home, I walked into that front door, and the first thing I saw was the breakfast nook. And you know, please, lady, take your tour of my home. Walked in the door, happened to have seen the breakfast nook from the foyer, and just walked all the way through the dining room into the then existing family's home, and just fell in love with the house.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to maintain my cool, you know, because you're not supposed to let the seller know how excited you are about the home. But I went home and I told the girl's dad that if we didn't get this house, I don't know. I just thought I would be very disappointed had we not have been able to afford the price for the home. Michael, we paid $28,000 for this house in 1978. Well, that was the price. That was the selling price for this house.
Wow.
So yeah, very excited about my home and still in love with it. Yes, the breakfast nook was then and still is my favorite. The foyer, you know, all of these introductions into the home that spells love and warmth. My long colonial living room, and of course, since we moved in, and I did some renovation before I retired, I now have a glass enclosed back porch, which at the time was a screen enclosed back porch that my daughters absolutely loved. Y'all like these pane windows, right? They are cold. They are very cold. Even with the storm windows that we had installed, thinking that in order to create to conserve on energy, installing the storm windows would, you know, create a barrier between the cold and the heat escaping. But it's time to get the storm windows down, get the panes painted. I pre-COVID, I sat with Anderson, I think it was. That man had me so in love with the idea of having all my pane windows replaced, and then they were going to put an artificial pane look because I still wanted the pane windows look. I think it was going to be like $38,000. Oh yes, to get my windows all replaced. And I mean the absolute horror of a $35,000. Now the house back in the day was $28,000. The notion of me trying to finance the $37,000 it was going to take for me to get the windows replaced, I just couldn't make sense about that. And obviously do whatever I can in terms of creating windows that conserve the heat and that kind of thing. You cannot sustain a neighborhood like this one if you do not provide funding for folks who have moderate income and cannot afford a $37,000 window repair bill or a $15,000 garage repavement bill.
So the work that Grandmont Rosedale Development Corporation has been able to do in our 30-plus year existence has really helped to stabilize and revitalize the housing stock in our 5 neighborhood service area, which is North Rosedale Park, Grandmont number 1, Grandmont, and Minnock Park. We've been able to acquire, rehab, and sell over 120 houses, again, which along with other factors has helped to stabilize the housing stock in our community, and we have seen homeowners increase the value of equity in their homes, and it's just been a really wonderful thing to watch the stabilization of our community in the Grandmont Rosedale neighborhoods. But as of recent, what we've been seeing and what we're trying to respond to is the aging population that we have in our 5 neighborhood service area, and really figure out ways that GRDC can support our residents and our neighbors with resources to help do home repairs that may be a little bit out of the possibility when it comes to the funding that they may have available, right? So when we're thinking about roof repairs, and we're thinking about, maybe the demolition of a detached garage, when we think about foundation work, windows, doors, things like that. These things can cost a lot, especially for larger homes, and it might be a resident that may be on a fixed income, right? So what we're really hoping to do with this grant opportunity is really provide additional resources with our already successful home improvement program to really bolster the efforts of GRDC when it comes to supporting residents with their home repair, but also really target our senior population, which again is growing every single day. And so we want to be here for our residents, we want to be here for our neighbors, and so what we hope that the THOM grant opportunity through Enterprise does for us is to continue a strong partnership that we have with Enterprise in our effort to continue to bring home repair resources to our neighborhood.